We have some breaking news for you now on our biggest story. Arsenal have agreed a £67.5 million deal.
Yeah, Rodrygo, obviously former Santos man who joined Real Madrid in 2019. He scored 32 goals in 172 La Liga appearances. He's won 3 La Liga titles. He's won 2 Champions Leagues. He's been at the heart of Real Madrid for the last 6 years since he made his debut in 2019. So he is exactly the type of player that Arsenal fans would say, yes, big box ticked. He's what we want. We want players of that kind of calibre. A Brazil international as well. We reported on the transfer show that he was a player of interest with regards to Mikel Arteta's rebuild over this summer. They're looking for players that can play down that left-hand side, which Rodrygo can. This morning we've had a little bit more detail to say that he's actually not just a player of interest, but one of Arsenal's top targets for that left-sided position. As things stand, there's been no formal club-to-club communication. This is very much just still interest at this stage. What Andrea Berta has been doing over the course of the last few weeks and months is just speaking to all of the relevant representatives for those players that they've targeted. So if they're on the Arsenal list, normally what would happen, the sporting director would speak to their agents, speak to their reps and say, right, what's the deal? How much would it cost to get him out of the club? Would he be interested in joining us and being a part of this project? How much would he want wages-wise? They formulate those lists and then they'll go back to the management team, obviously of Mikel Arteta, who has a heavy hand in recruitment, and say, right, this is what it's going to cost us. This is the metrics with regards to finance. Who do you want and in what order? Our information this morning is that one of the top targets for that left-sided position is Rodrygo. So it'll be interesting to see how things develop now. We know that there are other names that they're looking at. Nico Williams, of course, in Spain. Leroy Sané, who's a free transfer. Morgan Rogers, who's had an outstanding campaign for Aston Villa. And they're looking for proven quality. They're looking for players that can take them from being the nearly boys to the Premier League champions.
Emirates then.
Yeah, this talk in the Dutch press about Christian Norgard, and this has completely come from that side of the equation with Ajax just having a look at his situation at Arsenal. He hasn't started a Premier League game since he signed from Brentford in the summer. He has started in the League Cup and in other competitions, but clearly not getting the game time that he would have wanted. But we know Arsenal's strength in depth in that squad. Very, very difficult to get game time in that team. So let's see what Arsenal's situation is with that. But as far as we know, there's no appetite at the moment for Arsenal to allow Norgard to leave.
Could you tell me in 30 seconds less than about Joshua Zirkzee? Actually, 20 seconds.
He can.
Yeah, Roma will begin preparing a proposal for Manchester United this week, according to our colleagues at Sky in Italy. More from 7.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Right, time now for our transfer update. Jean-Philippe Mateta has told Crystal Palace that he wants to leave in this window amid interest from Juventus, Aston Villa and more clubs as well. Arsenal's Ethan Nwaneri was in France for a medical yesterday ahead of a loan move to Marseille. Chelsea remain in talks to sign £56 million rated centre-back Jeremy Jacquet from Rennes. Everton.
The window is there. I mean, we're Arsenal and we have to be looking at it. Okay, what do we need? And we have to be actively looking. And then can we do it or not? That's a different story. But our job is to be always very prepared because something can happen. So hopefully very positive. When you look across the other clubs as well, they have 24, 25 squad players. And so there's nothing special in our squad. The thing is that obviously we had more injuries than expected, some of them not avoidable, I would say. But we want to be better, and we know how important the part of having the right availability with players is going to play in the season. When we assess every situation, I leave that much more to Andrea to understand what's happening in the market, and then the individual players, obviously, we have to assess where we are with each of them and get the best situation.